cold did not arrive overnight. It crept forward one winter at a time. A valley that once held forests became empty grassland. A river froze earlier every year. The animals began to disappear. Then the snow stopped melting. If you were alive 26,000 years ago, you would not have known you were entering the deadliest chapter of human history. You would only know that food was harder to find. The days felt shorter, the nights felt longer, and every journey carried the risk of never coming home. At the height of the last glacial maximum, enormous ice sheets buried much of North America and northern Europe beneath kilometers of ice. Sea levels dropped by more than 120 meters. Entire coastlines vanished. Land bridges appeared where oceans exist today. The Earth looked like another planet. Yet humans survived, not because we were stronger than nature, because we learned faster than it could change. For decades, scientists believed early humans barely escaped extinction through luck. The evidence tells a different story. Archaeologists now see countless signs of careful planning, remarkable cooperation, and astonishing adaptability. The Ice Age was not simply endured, it became a training ground. Every lesson learned there shaped the civilization you know today. But first, the climate itself became the enemy. According to paleoclimate research, global temperatures during the last glacial maximum averaged roughly 6 degrees Celsius colder than today. That number sounds small. It was anything but. A few degrees transformed forests into tundra. Rain became snow. Growing seasons collapsed. Entire ecosystems shifted hundreds of kilometers. Animals followed the changing landscape. Humans had to follow them. Otherwise, they starved. Imagine walking for weeks across frozen plains with children, carrying everything your family owned. No maps, no roads, no certainty that food waited ahead. Only hope. How do you survive when the world itself refuses to stay familiar? The answer began with something surprisingly simple. People stayed together. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar proposed that human survival depended heavily on unusually strong social bonds. During the Ice Age, those bonds became lifelines. A lone hunter could fail. A group could adapt. Families shared food. Knowledge traveled between generations. The memory of one successful hunt might save dozens of lives years later. Information became as valuable as meat. Every elder carried a living library. Where the animals migrated. Which plants survived harsh winters. How to recognize dangerous ice. Where fresh water remained beneath frozen ground. Losing one experienced person meant losing decades of survival knowledge. That made every human life incredibly valuable. The archaeological record reveals something remarkable. Some injured individuals survived for years despite severe disabilities. Broken bones healed. Missing limbs did not always mean death. Communities cared for people who could no longer hunt. That decision seems compassionate. It was also practical. Experience often mattered more than strength. Knowledge outlived muscle. Then came another breakthrough. Clothing, not simple animal skins. Tailored clothing. Archaeologists have discovered bone needles dating back tens of thousands of years. These tiny tools changed everything. Loose hides trap warmth. Fitted clothing traps even more. Layered garments created portable shelter. Humans no longer depended entirely on caves. They carried protection with them. That single innovation expanded the places people could safely explore. Shelter evolved too. Many imagine Ice Age humans living only inside caves. Some certainly did. Others built sophisticated structures from wood, stone, and even mammoth bones. In parts of Eastern Europe, archaeologists uncovered circular homes built from the skeletons of enormous mammoths. Animal hides stretched across the frames. Fires burned inside. Entire families survived brutal winters within these carefully engineered shelters. Why build with bones? Because trees were often scarce across frozen grasslands. People used whatever the environment offered. Scarcity encouraged invention. Fire became another masterpiece of adaptation. Humans already controlled fire long before the last glacial maximum. During the Ice Age, they mastered it. Different woods burned differently. Animal fat extended flames. Stone hearths reflected heat. Fires became kitchens, workshops, meeting places, classrooms. Stories shared around fire preserved knowledge long before writing existed. Some researchers believe storytelling itself became a survival tool. Every story carried instructions hidden inside memorable characters and dramatic events. Children remembered the lesson because they remembered the story. Culture became technology. Then hunting changed forever. Ice Age hunters did not simply chase animals. They studied them. Migration routes, seasonal behavior, weaknesses. Large prey like mammoths, bison, horses, and reindeer demanded teamwork. teamwork. No single person could reliably bring them down. Groups coordinated movements across open landscapes. Every successful hunt required planning, communication, and trust. Archaeological sites reveal carefully organized butchering areas. Nothing went to waste. Meat became food, bones became tools, sinew became thread, hides became clothing, fat became fuel. An entire animal became an entire economy. Could modern society survive with so little waste? That question feels surprisingly uncomfortable. Climate continued changing. Not once. Again and again. Cold periods returned. Warmer periods interrupted them. Rainfall shifted. Vegetation moved. Human groups that refused to adapt disappeared. Those willing to change survived. Genetic studies suggest our ancestors repeatedly passed through population bottlenecks. At several moments, the number of surviving humans became astonishingly small. Yet each recovery carried new innovations, new migrations, new ideas. Adaptation itself became humanity's greatest evolutionary advantage. Professor Brian Fagan, who has written extensively about prehistoric climate, argues that environmental instability repeatedly rewarded flexibility over physical power. The strongest individual could still starve. The most adaptable community often endured. Eventually, the ice retreated. Slowly, almost invisibly, glacier melted. Rivers returned. Forests spread northward. Animals entered new territory. Humans followed once again. This time, they carried thousands of years of accumulated experience. The skills forged in the Ice Age did not disappear with the snow. They became the foundation of agriculture, trade, cities, civilization. Every map you use, every home you enter, every community you trust, they all trace part of their story back to families who refused to surrender to endless winters. The Ice Age was never just about surviving cold. It was about discovering what humans become when every mistake is fatal. Our ancestors did not conquer nature. They learned to cooperate with one another while nature remained unconquerable. That may be the most important lesson they left behind, because the greatest survival tool was never sharper spears or warmer clothing. It was the ability to learn together. The glacier eventually disappeared. That instinct never did. Every conversation, every classroom, every scientific discovery, every shared idea, they are echoes of fires that once burned beneath frozen skies. The world you inherited was not built despite the Ice Age. It was built because humanity survived it.